what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another official video by JAZZY Official. Today we are doing another animated story. This video is titled, I have a watch that can stop time. That would be pretty cool if I had a watch that could stop time. It kind of reminds me of that Simpsons episode where, that Treehouse of Horror, where Bart and Milhouse stop time and then break the watch and then fix it 15 years later, and then yeah. We are on the road to 1K and many more afterwards. First off, let's hit 1K, so subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Alex, Sarah, and I gathered in my grandfather's bedroom. Our grandfather was on his deathbed, living his final moments. His face bore a mixture of sadness and peace. My grandfather slowly lifted his head and turned to Alex. With trembling hands, he took a piece of paper from his pocket and handed it to him. "Alex," he said, his voice both shaky and resolute.
That his will? I'm assuming that's his will.
"This villa is now yours. However, it will fully belong to you after your grandmother passes away." Alex's eyes lit up. "The villa by the lake, Grandpa? Really?" My grandfather nodded. "Yes, Alex. I hope you build a happy life there after your grandmother passes away."
This guy inherited a villa, mansion, house. Shit, kind of cool. I wonder what it looks like.
Then he turned to Sarah and took a bank book from his pocket. "Sarah," he said, "this is yours. However, you can't use this money until you turn 18. Sarah's eyes widened as she looked at the bank book. "Oh my god, $100,000 is mine, Grandpa?"
This guy's just giving out everything. Well, I guess he's on his death. Alex, take my house. Whatever the second person's name was, take my money. It ain't going with me.
My grandfather smiled. "Yes, Sarah. I hope you use this money to go to a good university and have a successful life." Then it was my turn. My grandfather reached into his pocket again and pulled out an old, rusty pocket watch. When he handed it to me, I was confused.
He probably thinks that his grandpa thinks of him as the runt of the family. Like, man, you giving my bro a villa? You giving my sister $100,000? What do I get? A watch? A rusty old watch? Come on, Gramps.
"Grandpa, what is this?" I asked. My grandfather looked at me with a tired smile. "This watch is now yours, David. Take good care of it and understand the value of time," he said. Alex and Sarah couldn't hold back their laughter. "A pocket watch? You've got to be kidding."
Yeah, like, what the hell is that, man?
Alex said. "Come on," I said. "Our grandfather is sick. Be respectful." At that moment, my grandfather's eyes closed.
Little do they know that the pocket watch stops time. Honestly, yeah, they should be respectful. You got a villa, get out of here, go home. If his grandpa had a watch that could stop time, this guy could live forever.
A deep silence fell over the room. My heart was pounding. Grandpa is gone,"
Bro, why is the room smoky?
I said with a trembling voice. Sarah and Alex suddenly became silent. The moment our grandfather took his last breath was a great shock for all of us. The next day, we sat down for dinner as a family. The silence was broken by my father's concerned look at me. "David, what's wrong, son?"
Wait a minute, where was the mother and father in this scenario when the grandpa passed? Where were they? That's what I'm confused about.
"You seem down," my father said with concern. I bowed my head and took a deep breath. My grandfather deemed only this old pocket watch worthy for his favorite grandchild. I said angrily.
"Yeah, but Alex got a villa, man. I'm stuck with this rusty old watch. I don't even know what it does yet."
My mother leaned toward me. "David, maybe there's a reason he gave you this watch. You know your grandfather. Everything he did had a meaning," she said with a slight smile. I rolled my eyes. "What could it be, Mom? It's just a watch." I pressed the button on the watch. Suddenly, my mother and father froze, staring at me. "Mom? Dad? Are you okay?" I asked in fear. There was no response. No one was moving.
You froze them, man. You froze them. They're in ice.
My heart started racing, and my hands were shaking. I took a few steps back and looked around. Everything had stopped. I looked at my mother's face. Her eyes were vacant and expressionless. Suddenly, my mother blinked and looked at me with a worried expression. "David, are you okay? What happened? Why are you standing?"
Weren't you just sitting down like literally 5 seconds ago? Why are you standing?
She asked, making eye contact with me. In a panic, I pressed the button on the watch again.
"You asking too many questions. I'm freezing you again and getting out of here."
Suddenly, a lightning bolt struck in my mind. The watch! I realized the watch somehow stopped time. But how long would this last? I held the watch tightly and looked at it. After about 30 seconds, my family started moving again. I thought for a moment and realized that this watch could only stop time for 30 seconds and could only be used 3 times a day.
Whoa, that's actually pretty cool. I want a watch that can stop time. Think of all the shit that I can do.
This was truly incredible. My grandfather had given it to me because he loved me the most. The next day, on my way to school, I encountered the bullies who always waited at their usual corner. They started laughing mockingly when they saw me. "Look who's coming," said the skinny one in a mocking tone.
Let's see what he's going to give us today,
added the big bully, laughing. "Maybe he'll give us the nice burger his mom made for lunch. What do you think?" said the skinny one, bursting into laughter. I took a deep breath. My heart was pounding, but I had a sense of determination inside me.
I'm gonna stop time for 30 seconds, slap you in the face, and run away.
I looked at them fearlessly. "Unfortunately, I can't give you anything today," I said. The big bully was surprised. His eyes lit up with anger.
Oh yeah? Then you deserve a good beating,
he shouted. Calmly, I said, "I don't think so," and pressed the button on my watch. Everything froze for a moment. The bully stood motionless. Laughing, I ran away from there.
So you just ran away, not even slapping them or giving them a wedgie or anything like that, but just running away. You should have taken their lunch money. Never mind, they're probably broke.
When I got home from school, I found Alex standing in the middle of the living room.
Hey buddy, I've come for a rematch on PlayStation,
he said excitedly. We went to my room and started playing PlayStation. After a while, Alex said,
Hey, can your mom make us some nice burgers?
I kind of want to try these burgers, man. If the bullies want them and your friend wants them, there's got to be some good burgers.
Of course, I said with a smile and left the room. When Alex was alone, he started snooping around and found the watch my grandfather had given me on my desk.
He's trying to steal the watch. You irresponsible guy. I'm gonna slap you.
At that moment, I returned to the room. Hey buddy, the burgers will be ready in 15 minutes, I said, but I froze when I saw the watch in Alex's hand.
You're stealing the watch. You're stealing my watch.
Alex turned to me and asked,
Hey buddy, don't get me wrong, but why did our grandfather give his favorite grandchild this stupid watch?
Buddy, I don't know either. Please give me the watch, I said in a panic.
Oh, he messed up. You shouldn't have panicked. You should have been like, bro, I don't know. He gave me the watch. Why do you want the watch? You already got a villa. Get out of here. Go home.
Alex laughed.
Buddy, you suddenly panicked. I wonder what happens when I press this button.
Just as he was about to press the button, I rushed toward him and shouted, No! Suddenly, everything froze, and I stood still. Alex looked around in confusion but didn't understand what was happening.
Buddy, what happened? Why aren't you moving?
He asked, but got no response. He looked around and began to understand the situation.
So this watch stops time.
Cool, it stops time. Oh man, I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna run over to my villa and I'm gonna keep this and hide it for whenever I need it and just disappear.
He said to himself. At that moment, 30 seconds passed and I started moving again. Buddy, please give me the watch, I said in a pleading voice.
Too late, buddy. It's in my possession now. You can't have it. You can't have it now. You finders keepers.
Alex looked at me with a sly expression.
Buddy, it's too late now,
he said, and pressed the button on the watch again. While I stood frozen in the room, Alex quickly ran away. The next day after school, I went to Alex's house. No matter how much I knocked on the door, no one answered. I had a feeling of unease inside me. I had to solve this problem myself because I couldn't tell anyone about the watch's ability to stop time. When I got home, I found my grandmother sitting with us. She looked at me with a sad expression and said, How could you give the watch to Alex?
Grandma, listen, I messed up. You know, I had it on my desk. He found it, took it. We were playing video games and he told me to tell mom to make some burgers. Like all I know is that we wanted burgers, and then when I came back to the room, he froze time and ran away. I don't know how that happened. I just left my watch on the desk. That's how it went.
I turned to my grandmother with a sad expression and said, I didn't give it to him. He stole it from me.
Exactly. He stole it from me. You know? I left it on my desk.
My grandmother took a deep breath and said, Alex and his stepmother used the watch to stop time and evict me from the villa by the lake, she said sadly. I was very surprised.
Bro, that's kind of messed up. You're gonna... It's your grandma, bro. At the end of the day, like, it's her house. Her name's in the deed. She can definitely go to the authorities and be like, yo, kick these guys out of my house.
How could they do this to you, Grandma? Grandpa already gave that villa to him, and it was supposed to be his after you passed away, I said. My grandmother turned to me and said firmly, "You must immediately take that watch from someone as malicious and ill-intentioned as Alex, David." That evening, I retreated to my room and started making plans on how to get the watch back.
First off, let's talk about your room. Why is it stink green and it has like a cloud behind you? Like, how much have you been farting in this room?
Considering Alex's malice and the power of the watch, I knew I had to come up with a careful plan. The next night, my plan went into action. As Alex left the house, he heard a sound coming from the bushes. When he turned his head, he saw a cardboard cutout of my grandfather among the bushes. Written in large letters on the cutout were the words, "Give the watch back to David immediately." Alex's face turned pale with fear.
That's pretty clever. Grandpa, you back? You want me to give the watch back to David? How are you back? And why are you angry at me? I took the watch fair and square. Grandpa, good to see you, but I'm running away.
In a panic, he pressed the button on the watch and time stopped. Alex started running like crazy.
What did I tell you?
After 30 seconds, when time resumed, he was out of breath. As he looked back, he saw the same cardboard cutout on a nearby tree, again with the words, "Give the watch back to David immediately."
That's proper timed.
Alex's fear intensified. He pressed the button on the watch again and time stopped once more. He started running like crazy again. After 30 seconds, he stopped and looked around, trying to understand what was happening. At that moment, I emerged from the bushes and quickly grabbed the watch from Alex's hand.
He did good. He did good. He got the watch back, at least.
Alex stepped back in shock. "Give it to me right now!" he shouted angrily. Smiling, I said, "Buddy, it's too late now," and pressed the button on the watch. Time stopped and Alex stood frozen with an angry expression. I ran away while he stood there, immobile. My plan was actually simple. When Alex left the house, I placed my grandfather's cutout in his path and mounted a light-activated motion sensor on the cutout.
Oh, that's how he did it. A light motion sense activated sensor thingy. It's made like a little laser tripwire type thing. That's how he did it.
Which I had bought online. When Alex approached the cutout, the sensor activated and lit up my grandfather's face. I knew Alex would panic and stop time, running for about 30 seconds. Calculating this, I placed the second cutout with a motion sensor in the next location he would reach. When Alex arrived there, the sensor activated again, lighting up my grandfather's cutout in the dark of the night. I was sure Alex would stop time and run away, again, and I calculated his next step, waiting in the bushes. When Alex arrived, looking back in fear, I took the watch from his hand. After this incident, my grandmother went to court and reclaimed the villa from Alex, transferring it to me with a new contract.
Exactly, that's what you should have done in the first place.
Now, we live in this villa with my grandmother on weekends.
Oh, damn, that's a big villa. It's like Drake's house. Alex, you get nothing. After that, you get nothing. Absolutely nothing.
One day, when the doorbell rang, we saw Alex at the door. He apologized for what he had done and begged my grandmother to give him the villa back. My grandmother, smiling, said, "Of course,"
Whoa, hang on. You gotta do more than that.
and froze Alex with the watch in her hand.
She stopped time.
Turning to me, she said, "Your turn." I put Alex in a wheelbarrow and threw him into the lake next to the villa. After 30 seconds, Alex found himself in the lake and started jumping in anger. My grandmother and I started laughing as we watched him.
Alright, well, there you have it. That was some good revenge. Also, it was well thought out. Yeah, Alex didn't deserve that villa. Let me tell you that. Alex didn't deserve that villa. After the way he treated his grandma, stole the watch from my guy, he didn't deserve that villa. And where's mom and dad though? Like, they didn't do anything except mom helped Alex evict his grandma. That's obviously dad's mom. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe icon and that bell icon right over there. I will see you guys in the next video. There's a lot more coming. Let's reach 1K, and then afterwards, let's reach 5K, then 10K, then 20, then 40, then 80, then 100. How much subscribers that we can get? Share these videos. We really appreciate all your guys' support to the max. There's no other way that I can put this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Peace out.